Hello everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed and welcome back to Missing Time with the one end build of the game release, which you can find down in the description of this video, along with the Kickstarter to this game as well. I'm going to be speaking a bit more quietly just because I'm still recovering from a flu and I don't want to exhaust myself too much. And we're also starting off from the end of the first chapter. Kneeling on the floor was a terrified Chiharu. Her hair is toused and her hair knuckles are bruised. Her knuckles, sorry. Chiharu! Flare, thank God! Boundaries thrown out of a window. Sorry. I hug her. Simply glad that she is in one piece. Chiharu, what happened? You scared the living hell out of me. I don't know. Oh God, I don't know, Flare. I heard someone calling for help and I came to help. When I went inside, when I went outside, the door just slammed shut. I was screaming and banging on the door, but nobody came. Chiharu breaks down into hysterical sobs. I hug her close, but also help her up. Her story deeply disturbs me. I truly don't want to be in this room any longer, and I'm sure Chiharu feels the same. On our way out, I got a glimpse of the door handle on the inside. It looks melted, mangled beyond recognition. Swallowing, I hurry my steps. Tomorrow, I will let someone know about this. Right now, I just want to get the hell out of here with Chiharu. Indeed, we do want to do that. Chapter 2. Blossom. I dragged my feet down the hallway, yearning for the upmonth time this morning. I'll never stay up late playing video games with Ember and Chiharu again. Lovely. We have set up a bit of a gaming squad once we learned the three of us play some similar games. Ember is an excellent shooter, though Chiharu is more or less there for fun. We play online sometimes, but last night was particularly competitive. I should have remembered it was Sunday and not charged in with Ember. Now I'm just going to be a zombie for the rest of the day. Putting all nighter, it would seem, with two of our favourite girls. Spotting Chiharu around the corner brightens up my mood a bit. She is speaking, or more like attempting to talk, to Emery. Emery, Chiharu, good morning. Good morning, Flare. Morning. What's up? Oh, I made these mini tarts last night, so I'm bringing it to class to share with everyone. Do you guys want to try some? Heck yeah. Any day with Chiharu's sweets is a happy day. Aww. Embarrassed. Bless you. Emery, would you like some? I carefully take the mini tart Chiharu hands me, filled with delicious custard, but tart shell is baked to perfection. Just dusting brown around the edge and golden at the bottom, with glazed berries shine like little gems on top. Chiharu's work is truly a piece of art. No, I'm alright, thank you. Huh? That took her a while for her to answer, and even when she said no, Emery still eyes the box in Chiharu's hand. Yes, but no. I'll say no, but secretly I really want them. You're missing out, Emery. Chiharu's dessert is the greatest. Deserts. You're just saying that. You used to run away from my food all the time, huh? That was back in our childhood, you know, Chiharu. Those times were different. Those were the times where you were experimenting with your meals. I bite into the tart, savouring the sweetness of custard and the slight teen of berries before answering Chiharu. That was different. You're much better now from when we were kids. That was delightful, by the way. If Emery doesn't want it, can I have hers? No! You're such a glutton. All in good. Well, that certainly sounds terrifying. Who might that be? And who the hell causes Paranormal to start? Well, it kind of did start at the end of chapter 1. All of a sudden, darkness drowns out the hallway. Beside me, I hear Chiharu's panicked squeal as she clutches onto my arm. The scream dies in an ominous note. punctured with a wet, hair-raising crunch and several dull thumps. I blink rapidly, trying to get used to the sudden changes around us. My heart stops. Chiharu drops her pastry box with a thud. Fingers slip down my arms and she falls to her knees, emptying the contents of her stomach. Yikes! It takes all my self-control. Or is it the shock that numbs me to not follow suit? Oh, now it's going red. Lying crumbled at the bottom of the staircase is a female student. Eyes still wide. Fear and shock stay frozen on her ashen face as blood bubbles out. The back of her neck goes flat between her shoulder blades, making her stare straight at us in her oh god, that's the worst. Somehow, in any kind of these scenarios in the game, when the eyes are just staring at you, that sends so many shivers down my spine. Ooh, broken spine protrudes through her. Yikes! The bone jagged and spilling crimson over the marble floor. Limbs bend in awkward angles. Her fingers still twitch, as if reacting to the screams that now fill our hallway. I feel my entire body trembles. I know this person. This was Chiharu, whatever the last name is, sorry. I barely register Emery rushing forward, but just before she makes it to the dead girl, a teacher catches her arm. Emery snaps around, blue eyes glinting harshly. The teacher flinches, dropping her hand as she was burned, and bows at Emery apologetically. A hushed conversation begins between them. The teacher does most of the talking. Whatever she is saying, Emery doesn't look at all pleased. Meanwhile, other facility members have also appeared at the scene. Everyone, please calmly vacate the school. You mean evacuate the school? While we call the authorities. Please follow Mrs. Nagamasu to the front of the school. School will be closed for the rest of the day. Please follow Mrs. Nagamasu. Isn't that name a familiarity in this game? Legs shaking, I use all my strength to pull Chiharu to her feet. She leans heavily onto me. Whimpering noises escape her. No way. No. Oh God. No way. That's impossible. The cleansing has begun. Chiharu, we gotta get out of here, okay? Flare. What? Flare? Chiharu's quivering with quiet sobs. She clutches at the front of my shirt, knuckles white as she cries. If I'm not pushing her forward, then Chiharu will probably have collapsed again. She is in no condition to walk home like this. Come on, Chiharu. I'll walk you home. I sigh. She really is out of it. Chiharu doesn't look like she can stand on her own, much less walking out. She looks just short of passing out. I can't leave her like this. I let Chiharu lean onto me as we begin our walk back to her home. Oh dear. As the commotion behind us gets swallowed up by the town's usual silence, I feel Chiharu's breathing become a bit easier. Gradually she stands up straight, though the grip she has on my arm is still too tight. I can't blame her, after what happened a couple of weeks ago. Indeed, so that's the amount of time it took between the last chapter and this one. Chiharu's been rather jumpy. Strangely enough, she begged me to not tell anyone about the incident. People will notice when something gets off, though. I had a weird dream 2 nights ago. Was it the hypothetical timeline that you died in that closet? Lost in thoughts, I was a bit surprised when Chiharu speaks up. A weird dream? Yeah, the details are fuzzy. But I remember staying back after class with duties, and then a girl that I couldn't recognize walked in. She tried talking to me, but it sounded like she had a very bad cold. I think I offered her some tea, but when I looked around, she was gone. You think? Of course you did. It's Chiharu we're talking about. My light teasing... yeah, my light teasing eases a small chuckle out of her. That's better. A smiling Chiharu is better than a crying Chiharu any day. The rest was muddled, but I remember walking home, though I was carrying something really heavy. Like a body, for example. Carrying something? It was really heavy. I was crouching a bit. That must have been a body then. With the mood decidedly sullen, I changed the topic, both to help Chiharu and myself. I'd rather not think about what just happened and will do my best not to think about it at all. Chiharu would definitely appreciate my effort. So, have you tried out any new recipes? Oh yeah, I'm actually trying these recipes Ember gave me. What sort? I raised an eyebrow. Oh? Yeah, do you know Ember is really good with cooking too? She taught me this awesome Ebidon recipe. I didn't even think to use just spring onion and minced garlic to bring out the flavour of the prawns before. Chiharu is growing steadily more excited the more she talks. She and Ember have been growing closely lately, which is surprising considering the difference in their personalities. But it's all for the best. As Chiharu seems happy, Ember is more approachable now too. I guess it also helped that Ember stood up for Chiharu against the bullies in Cooking Club. Certainly shone a new light on her, for both of us at least. Sounds delicious. I wish I could get a taste. Maybe we can all gather at my place one day. Ember and I can cook up a feast. Sounds delicious. I wonder if it's in this universe you can get anything that cures flus. Yeah. You're such a glutton, just like earlier. You know me. Chiharu bursts out laughing, which prompts my own laughter. However, she seems to not be able to control her mirth, and her giggles soon spiral out of control. Yikes! Chiharu has to stop and lean on me as she laughs and laughs, tears spring to her eyes. It begins to worry me, and it doesn't take long for me to realize that she's borderline in hysteria. Chiharu? Chai? Are you okay? Of course. Why? Why wouldn't I be happy? So someone just died. That definitely terrifies me. I face her, hands gripping her arms. Chiharu, snap out of it. Yeah, that's right. Just snap out of this predicament. Oh, nah, I don't like that face. That happens every time you select a bad option. Chiharu? Oh, now she's gone back to terrified. How many more different emotions can we get out of Chiharu on this very, very day? Maybe this episode shall be called The Many Emotions of Chiharu. There we go again. Yikes. And the music just personifies the situation, which is nice. And just like that, my poor frail friend starts breaking down, wailing in a pitch so high it's almost silent. Do you see all the glass around you? Yeah, they've all broken now. If I weren't already holding her, she would have fallen to her knees as she sobs her heart out, trembling like a leaf. Why, Flare? Why? Chiharu. Shh. It's alright. No, it's not. Someone just died. Died in front of us. It's not okay. But we're okay. Feeling utterly useless, all I could do is hug her, as Chiharu screams to my chest. I don't want this, Flare. I don't want this. Between Chiharu's crying and my clumsy attempts to comfort her, we somehow managed to stumble back to my house. Thankfully my parents are still at work. I don't think I have the heart to explain what happened at school. Aww. I bring Chiharu up to my room and after promising her that I would be back immediately to fetch us some water and tissues. I'm having some concerns right now. And also, do you know that these hourglasses have a particular resemblance in the game's mechanics? So, sorry, Flare. Don't worry about it. How are you feeling? Awful. I can relate to that, but in a tiny different scenario. Yeah, I bet everyone is feeling pretty awful right now, too. Who could have expected something so horrible to happen on a regular Monday morning? I will definitely have nightmares for weeks about this. Kuraiko might have been the school's mean girl, especially to Chiharu, but even she doesn't deserve such a fate. My skin crawls as another thought pops into my head. Kuraiko might have become this year's first case in the series of deaths that shadow Komachi. Chiharu finally let go of my arm. There's still a bit of a tremble to her fingers, but at least her face has regained some colour. Hey Flare. How have you been getting along? Chiharu's question brings me back to the present. Her face and eyes are still red from her crying, but she has put on a shaken smile, determined to try and distract us from the shock of it all. And to that fact, I'm grateful. This is a different one. Let's talk about a particular character. Let's talk about Shizeo. As good as it can be, I suppose. Well, if you say so. Hey, I mean there's no shortage of interesting happening when Shizeo's around. She does seem rather bold, doesn't she? If by bold you mean odd, then yeah, she insists of joining us on gaming nights, then got killed by the dumbest of things and starts howling in laughter when Ember rages. That does sound like Shizeo. You guys have gaming nights? Yeah, every Saturday or Sunday night, depending on our schedules. Regardless, there's a bit of a pause there, Chiharu. I'm not that comfortable about that. Regardless, I'm glad to hear you're adjusting well. Yeah? How about you, Chiharu? Huh? How have you been adjusting? Oh, me? Well, Chiharu takes a deep breath to calm herself. Well, to tell you the truth, I've been a bit stressed. Between moving here and getting acquainted with everything, it's overwhelming. I just want to forget all the stress. And I bet being locked up in that damn storage room doesn't help either. Nobody said anything, but I'm pretty sure it was the girls at the cooking club who did that to Chiharu for a cruel prank. Especially if Ember had gone after them. But throwing my accusations out right now wouldn't help either. So I simply shake my head. Why didn't you say anything then? But everyone has been doing alright, so I don't want to make a fuss. That's typical Chiharu right there. Of course she would put others' well-being above her own. Let's go something weekend shopping spree? Well, in that case, let's take a train to Tokyo and have a shopping spree. Huh? What? Now? Not now, silly. Maybe this weekend. I know being in such a small town with so little options can be grating for you. No, everything is absolutely fine. There's no need to worry. I mean, a train trip would be a bit too abrupt, don't you think? No, of course not. An unplanned trip would probably stress Chiharu more anyway. I shake my head. You're right. What do you have in mind? Summer vacation is coming. Oh, I should have picked the other option then. Maybe we can go somewhere? A beach, maybe? With the whole club, of course. Is that what they call shooting yourself in the foot? Are you going to invite anyone else? No. I mean, I'm not. I'm not close enough with anyone else, and so just our club. Yeah. Sounds pretty reasonable. I wasn't surprised when Ember called for a meeting after the incident. What I didn't expect would be the club in shambles. Arguments already heated when I entered the room. Oh. Who is saying completely stupid and a waste of time? Well, looking at the situation, there was something going on between Ember and Emery. Girls, please. This isn't for you to decide. Is that us talking? You. Whoa, hold on, what's going on here? I step in between Ember and Emery, preventing Ember from turning their dispute physical. Both Chiharu and Shizeo seem relieved upon seeing me. You want the long version or the where are the characters' names? I don't know who's talking. Eyeing Ember. I know it won't be long until she decides I'm just a puny obstacle and punch me out of the way to go to get to Emery. Sure, please. Emery thinks the incident is supernatural related and wants to step up wards around the school. Ember thinks it's just an accident and setting up wards is stupid. What would a handful of scrap papers do besides trashing up a place? Now, even Shizeo looks offended. Hey, just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it's garbage. Just because you believe in something doesn't mean you should go out of your way to inconvenience everyone else. Why are you being so rude? Inconvenience or not, it is the facility's decision. You're only saying that because you have this whole town licking your... Can you guys please just stop? Emery simply raises an eyebrow. Great, now Ember is glaring daggers at me as well. Shizeo looks torn between worried and angry. Please everyone, calm down. I don't think we should fight over something so trivial. I wouldn't call it trivial. Chiharu, about what happened. If some wards and random spell papers suddenly appeared around the school, it only caused more panic. The students are so spooked out already. Don't you really think spreading those things around the school grounds is a good idea? That makes sense. Either way, you can split it. Regardless, safety measures must be taken. What safety? What measure? It's a freaking accident. Since when do you believe what authorities told the masses? Since when did you believe this club makes a lick of sense? It has never been the club's belief that I doubt. What are you implying? Yep. And here Ember is ready to trade blows again. Emery, what makes you think there's supernatural interference? Probably the nature of the crime itself. I went to the crime scene and investigated. There are traces of dark energy surrounding the corpse and near the staircase. Give me a break. Well, if Emery said there are traces of dark energy, you've got to be kidding me. I might squabble with my sister a lot, but she's an expert on all things spooky scary. If she said there's something to it, then I believe her. What the hell are you talking about? You really want the whole school to freak out more? Ember is right. Everyone is kind of scared. Karaiko, she was quite popular, so everyone is rattled. Putting the wards up will prevent further collateral damage. Listen to yourself. You really don't give a flying flit. Everyone, please stop. I don't know who's discussing because their names are not appearing above the dialogue. Before we decide on doing anything, can I ask something? Go ahead. Let's assume that Emery is right about the whole supernatural thing. What do you think the cause of this incident was? What are you getting at? My investigations show that a dark entity is involved in the murder. Please. Alright. Do you think the curse has anything to do with this? So that must have been us speaking because all the characters are surprised. Before anyone can stop me, I hastily explain myself. I'm just saying, it can make sense, right? If everyone knows about the curse, why wouldn't there be more people talking about it? My apologies if I assume anything, but I've heard a lot of rumours flying around school about the most trivial things. But there are students who disappeared mysteriously, and nobody wants to talk about it. Taking a deep breath to keep my thoughts in order, I continue. From what the myth said, the curse takes a human host and makes them do unspeakable things, right? What if all of this? Silence. It was Emery that would say that. I immediately clamped my mouth shut. Silence fills the room. Chiharu is terrified, Ember a mixture of shock and anger, and Shizae's expression just closes off. Gulping, I shuffle around nervously. Maybe I've really overstepped my boundaries. This whole thing, the myth is really sacred to the Onishi, and to the town too. But at the same time, I wouldn't know until I ask, until I get the answers. Glancing at Chiharu, I swallow dryly. I don't want to know what happened to Chiharu. Sorry, I don't want what happened. Oh, okay, this makes sense. I don't want what happened to Chiharu to happen again. The way Ember is regarding me chills me to the core, however. Keeping the curse guarded is a sacred duty given to the Onishi. Saying that the curse is causing havoc around town is saying we are not upholding our responsibility of protecting our people. Ember sneers at this but doesn't say a word. I inhale shakily. The way Ember is looking at me makes me feel like she's about to snap me in two. Psychologically, without elaborating further, Emery flicks her nose skyward and marches out. Oh dear. Okay, but it could be possible. You know, just looking at Shazia right now, don't you think her eyes are a bit suspicious? Almost as if there is a perfect duality between the two of them. One is cold, the other is warm. The other is sociable, the other is non-sociable. One is guarding, while the other is influencing. A collective breath leaves us as Emery gets out of sight. The stare Shizeo gives me is weird though. You shouldn't have brought it up in front of Emmy though. I don't know who else to ask. Fair. The silence after is just too uncomfortable for us to continue. We agree to set up another meeting for Friday. Not too optimistic about Emery attending. Indeed. The rest of the week passes by full of whispers and cowering students. The stairs and corridor where the incident happened are opened up. But barely anyone dares to use it, like if it's a bad omen. I wonder if this has been the same reaction when the other cases took place last year. But it couldn't be. The other cases were outside of the school premises. Ember confirmed this over a text message. Is there a way to look at our messages? Like I remember, like is there like an actual mechanic with your phone? Like a function? Log. Nope. Menu. What most of these visual novel games lack is a controls sheet of sorts. Perhaps combined with Karaiko's popularity and the fact that there are several eyewitnesses, this incident blew up. There have been articles online about this too, titling "Tragic Accident at Local High School" or something similar. All very brief and none made it to the full page. None of them have any specific context about it. Just normal plain headlines about a tragic accident. They don't care. Not really. The thought sends chills down my spine despite the warm morning sun. Rounding the corner I spot Ember and Shizeo talking just down the hall and quicken my pace to greet them. Hello! Nearing its end. I'm not waiting. Oh, hey, Flare. Yo, what's up, boys? I mean, people. What up, my friends? Not much. Just talking about this show I've been following. Oh, is it good? I like it, but you probably won't. It's just this silly high school teen girl drama. Yeah, let's be inquisitive about this one. And the hourglass hasn't changed, so nothing's come about yet, which relates towards time that's been missed out on reading dialogue. What's it about? Oh, what's the plot? It's about a mean girl and a cliche... I've forgotten how to pronounce this word. Chiharu, conquering the school piece by piece. That's so cliche. Let me guess. There's also an innocent cute girl that sets out to change the mean girl's way. And the mean girl will eventually be charmed by the main male character. Ah, lovely. I haven't got him that far ahead. Yep. But you get the gist. Huh. Who would have thought Shizeo of all people would like these typical shows? They're not shows, they're anime. That's a difference. You know it. You know it, baby. Anyhow, I've got to get going now. I'll see you guys around. Wait. Never mind. See ya. You had something on your mind, though. I watched the exchange, waving goodbye to Shizeo absent-mindedly. Bye, Pancake Girl. Okay. Arth, if Ember's okay, let's divert the situation. Talk about Shizeo. Shizeo's in a good mood today, huh? Guess the show's good. Well, I'm glad you two are getting along well, at least. What do you mean? I mean, the whole thing with Emery. At least you'll get along with one Onishi. Yeah, lucky me, I guess. Ember, is everything alright? Yeah, we're moving forward, aren't we? Yeah, I guess so. Tell Ember about Chiharu's incident. Ultimately... that is definitely a conflicting scenario. I'm gonna go with the yes. Ooh. Somehow my hands become clammy. I've been wanting to speak about this to someone since it happened. Especially after the whole thing with Kureiko. I don't want anything bad to come for Chiharu. Ember has been in the club the longest, and she is the president. There are several reasons I should tell her. Besides, if nothing else, Ember does care, and I feel like I could rest easier knowing that there will be an extra pair of eyes looking out for Chiharu. Ember? Yeah? I need to tell you something, but you have to promise to keep this a secret. Ember frowns her brows in concern. Flare, everything okay? Do you remember the day we all thought Chiharu stayed home because she was sick? Yeah, I do. I brought you all dinner that night, remember? Chiharu was all shaken up, but he didn't tell me anything. Is there something you didn't tell me? Oh, now I've done it. Chiharu told me to keep everything quiet, but the circumstances surrounding that incident were suspicious, and I'd like someone to help me get to the bottom of this. Chiharu wasn't sick. I came to see her that night, but she wasn't home. I received a disturbing phone call then, telling me to go straight to a storage room at school. I freaked out and tried to call the police, ambulance, firefighter, even you guys, but my phone didn't want to work at all. I bit my tongue and fight a wave of nausea as I described to Ember the condition that I found Chiharu in that night. I didn't stop to investigate further. I just had a really bad feeling in my gut that night. If I were any later or if we stayed any longer, something really bad would have happened to us. Ember steadily grows paler the more I talk. By the time I'm done, her jaw is hanging open, shock, fear and anger written all over her face. Two different things to confirm that there is something of a paranormal or supernatural basis going on without the school. Why? Why didn't you guys tell me? I was there. Shink. Chiharu told me I should keep quiet about this. She didn't want anyone to know, or to ever be reminded of it. Sheesh. To my shock, she stomps her feet. I can't believe something like that happened right under my nose, and I was clueless. A stream of profanities escape her. I stand there, speechless as Ember vents her frustration. I'll keep an eye out for things. I'll let you know if I find anything. One thing though. What? Don't tell anyone about this. Especially Emery. Don't want her to have an excuse to start exercising Chiharu or something. Alright, but do you have a theory about what happened or something? The easy explanation would be those blanks in the cooking club did some cruel mischief. That's what I thought. But there's also a possibility of something worse. If anything, it indicates that Chiharu's the next target. No, she was the first target. And yeah, the next target. Dread crawls into my stomach at her words. But why? Chiharu hasn't done anything wrong. Why does anyone want to go after her? Well, unfortunately, just like viruses, this paranormal sort of nature does not discriminate anyone. But then again, unlike viruses, this targets a specific individual one at a time. I don't think whoever that was needs a reason, you know. I'm gonna head off now. I'll see you later. Later. After class, I make my way to the lockers, scrolling down my phone without reading anything. There's been a lot on my mind lately, but that's no surprise. I can't help but feel torn between Emery's and Ember's opinions on the cases. What happened to Chiharu weighs heavily on me as well, as it definitely affects my thought process. Quite indeed. Not really been any divergences in the story, or what could be a divergence. They're character-oriented options at times, but they're not major like going out with a particular character. Not like in the first chapter. This goes up to 3 chapters, so we're still in chapter 2. It could have been a prank. It's simple to point out the prime suspects who decide to trap and lock Chiharu up in the storage, and somehow as well mangling the inside doorknob so that she couldn't escape. But because of the hypothetical scenario that she did die in, it would come to be that it would be both an inside job and somehow being a case that the cooking club member would also have to get out of there somehow. So it stands to reason that it could be the case where it has such a short time period where Chiharu would have died, but in this case didn't. But in the case that she would have died, then the culprit must have gotten out of there somehow by an unknown assailant, which would have to be a person that is also within the cooking club. But the other scenario would be its supernatural causes. It could have been a prank. It's simple to point out the prime suspects who decided to trap and lock Chiharu up in the storage. That seems cruel and unnecessary. Catastrophically unnecessary, I'll have you know. But I wouldn't put it past high school bullies. Still, I can't shake the feeling that there is something unnatural about how my phone didn't want to work when I was trying to get help. Emery, protector or destructor? Obviously we can't say that in front of her. Just thinking about that moment gives me goosebumps. Otherwise we might get noir vibes. Ice Queen. On top of that, I didn't tell Chiharu, but I went to check the storage after that incident and after Kuriko's death again for good measures. The handle was completely gone, with burnt marks and metallic droplets frozen on the inside. It was melted off, and for the life of me I can't think of any student who could have been able to do that, or even facility members. Not within the day. They couldn't possibly carry a Bunsen burner all the way from the science lab if the school had one. Been playing another visual novel called Chemically Bonded, and I just thought of a Bunsen burner. Plus, if Chiharu had been trying to get out, banging her fist on the door would have definitely gotten some attention from nearby classes. It's too coincidental to be a club member prank. If all of this went on around us, then it is definitely supernatural cases. I mean, when we was with Chiharu and Emery, why did the surroundings suddenly get dark? Was it just to add to the scare factor of the game? Or is it something to do with something else even more? It's just not humanly possible for something like that to happen. And also as well, the supernatural does have a tendency to use fire. Or wisps, sorry. An ethereal flame? I'm not too sure. It's just not humanly possible for something like that to happen. Not for a regular group of students. Chiharu doesn't want me to talk about it. But I wonder if I could bring up some points with Emery. But I'm still not sure about how she would react. Maybe Shizaya would be safer? Then again, Shizaya doesn't seem to care much about the club as a whole. Even if she's doing her own investigations, she might just be in the club for a good time. Shizaya is somebody that you can't really dislike. I mean, for me personally. But same with Chiharu as well. I mean, some people could probably say that she is like the safe person to go with as she's our childhood friend. But opening up to other people isn't a bad idea. That's probably why Emery is still here, keeping an eye out for Shizaya. Out with me and I'll give you anything you want. A stranger's voice breaks me out of my reverie, and he sounds right on the path to my locker too. Sighing, I turn around only to be stopped in track when the object of his undying affection speaks up. Undying affection? What on earth are we going on about here? I'm flattered, but... Huh? Chiharu? Edging closer to the voice as I peek around the corner. Normally I would have walked away, but there was a drop of fear in Chiharu's voice, and the guy did sound pushy. As soon as I see his face, Chiharu's scared tone is completely justified. The guy's name is Gregory Walker, a lower classman and Komachi's High's notorious bully. He always preys on the freshmen, but never the seniors. What are you so shy about? Is there something you want? A new phone? A watch? Some new clothes? No? None of that? I just don't think it's a good time for me to be in any romance right now. Flustered, Chiharu shuffles backward, eventually hitting the locker with a soft thunk. She squeaks, a slight panic in her voice. Oh no. You're even cuter when you're this close. But please, I don't want any trouble. Trouble? No, I just want a kiss. No, please. Interfere. Alright, that's enough. I step up from where I was hiding, surprise, relief, and embarrassment all flashing Chiharu's eyes. The boy, a lower classman, nonetheless, has his arms on either side of her, trapping Chiharu between him and the lockers, making the saddest, tiniest squeal. Chiharu squirms out of his hold and rushes over to me, hiding behind my back. Flare! You alright, Chiharu? Once again, there's no characters above the dialogue. Chiharu nods, her shaking hands clutching at my shirt. Hey, who do you think you are? I'm her friend and you're bothering her. I think she'd appreciate it if you leave now. You. He is getting all red, all glaring daggers at me. Ember, it would be nice if you're nearby. You can just punch this guy into oblivion. Just dematerialize him into the middle of the next millennia. I glance at his white-knuckled fist and slowly move into a defensive stance before Chiharu. This can get ugly really quickly. Hey, what are you kids still doing here? We'll startle when a teacher rounds a corner. Get your things and scram. School closes in 5 minutes. We're just about to go. Sorry, sir. Chiharu, let's go. I usher her past the still fuming student, but not quick enough to escape his anger, hissing. Yeah, scram. This isn't over. You'll be sorry. Narrowing my eyes, I ignore him. Still, this gives me an uncomfortable reminder of what Ember said, but I shrug it off. How could such a brat of a boy have any tie with the local gang? Hey Chiharu, do you have anything planned for the weekend? No, why? Do you want to go to the mall on Saturday? Huh? Go to the mall? Decide to tease her a bit to lighten the mood, I wink. Yeah, like a date. Chiharu stops to take several deep breaths before nodding vehemently. I laugh easily at her cute antics. Alright, let's meet up at 9. See ya. Sorry for botching that. The mall is rather packed during the weekend. It's quite hot out as it's nearing summer. Yeah, both me and the game. It's May time and suddenly throughout the week it's gone about 10 degrees hotter. And they do have indoor pools. Besides, there aren't many activities to do in town anyway. Okay folks, I'm going to wrap this up here. Unlike my demo playthrough of Missing Time where I did 1 or 2 different videos throughout the day, just because I still have this flu at the moment, I'm only going to keep it to 1 video a day so that it doesn't exhaust me too much throughout the process. But I'm thoroughly enjoying this so far, just as much as I did with the demo playthrough. But thank you all so much for watching, guys. Please check out Missing Time in the description below. Download the demo for free if you are starting to get into the game itself, or if you want to expand further, then become a backer of the game. You may never know what you may get within the future. This is one end, and I do believe it is related to Chiharu rather than the other 3 characters. Just the interactions with the game so far, it makes me feel like that this is a Chiharu route, regardless of what you chose in the past. Anyways folks, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see each other in the next time of Missing Time. Hope you're all enjoying this so far, and take care of yourselves.